and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm Rebecca Felgate, and today we're talking about the Queen of the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth, Queen Elizabeth II. Queen Elizabeth is now the longest reigning monarch in the world. She's gone from living in a time where royalty had more power to a time that they have relatively little. However, there are still some laws that Queen Elizabeth does not have to follow. Coming in at number 10, she can eat a swan. In the UK, it is illegal to hunt swans. While we're able to eat chicken, pheasant, duck, pigeon, turkey and things like that, in the United Kingdom it is not okay to kill and eat a swan. The swans in the UK are protected by the Queen, who also owns all of the mute, unmarked swans, as well as all of the swans on the River Thames. As the Queen partially owns the swans, she could, in theory, indulge in her forefathers' favourite meal of roasted swan with stuffing. She probably won't though, she takes her duty as swan protector pretty seriously. I feel like I've said swan a lot. Coming in at number 9, she doesn't need a driving license. The Queen does not need a driving license. Unlike everyone else in the United Kingdom, the Queen did not need to apply for a driving license when she was 17. She didn't even need to take any driving lessons or a test to be able to drive. All driving licenses in the United Kingdom are issued in the Queen's name, so if she felt like having one, she could just in theory issue one to herself. Despite no test or license, the Queen is a competent driver. She actually drove an ambulance in World War II. When the Prince of Saudi Arabia visited in 1998, she drove him around her estate in her Land Rover. Now some say this was a boss queen move to advocate women's rights, because in Saudi, women aren't allowed to drive. Coming in at number 8, she doesn't have to stick to the speed limit. Not that the Queen necessarily goes around speeding, but technically she does not have to abide by the speed limits. Queen Elizabeth's sister, the late Princess Margaret, didn't have the same privilege, as she was once fined for speeding. Rumour has it, Elizabeth does like to drive pretty fast, but these days she does almost exclusively all of her driving on her own private estates. Coming in at number 7, she doesn't need a passport. A lot like with the driving license, the Queen can travel freely without a passport. She is one of only a very small handful of people that are able to travel without the otherwise legal requirement. Even huge celebrities like Taylor Swift will need to get their passports checked before they enter a country. This is an exemption saved only for monarchs. All British passports are issued by Her Royal Majesty, so again, in theory, she could just issue herself one. But what's the point? It's only one more thing that she's likely to forget when she packs for her holidays. Coming in at number 6, she is exempt from freedom of information requests. Like most countries, the United Kingdom has a freedom of information system that allows the press and public to reasonably ask questions about various situations. Many say this is vital in a democratic society like in the UK, but the royal family have used their powers to block the Freedom of Information Act from applying to them. To put it simply, the Queen's affairs, her family affairs, they are absolutely private. Coming in at number 5, the Queen doesn't have to pay tax. While all working UK citizens by law have to pay tax on their earnings, the Queen does not have to. However, she has voluntarily paid tax since 1992, which is very good of her. Coming in at number 4, she can start a war and she can refuse to make peace. While this technically isn't a law, the Queen is the only person who can legally declare war and peace. While this usually is carried out by Parliament, it absolutely cannot happen without royal approval. If the Queen wanted to declare war on America tomorrow, she legally could and the countries would be at war. Coming in at number 3, the Queen can refuse laws. Laws don't become laws in the UK until the Queen says so. Once a law has been passed through the Parliament and the House of Lords, it comes to the Queen so she can give it her royal assent. If she wanted to refuse a law, she could, although she probably never will. The last time a British monarch actually refused their royal assent was in 1708 when Queen Anne refused for settling the militia in Scotland. Coming in at number 2, the Queen cannot be sued or prosecuted. What? Don't even think about trying to sue the Queen because you legally can't. She also cannot, as monarch, be sent to jail. Neither does she have to give evidence in court. This actually applies internationally too. The Queen is above the law. So this kind of leads me to my number 1 point. This list could have actually been our first ever Most Amazing Top 1 because really, the Queen can break any law. The monarch of the United Kingdom is wholeheartedly above the law. They do not have to abide by any laws of the people. They have never had to abide by the laws of the people. The Queen legally can do whatever she wants. She could even commit murder. Although, of course, she wouldn't. The Queen remains within the law as to set an example to her subjects. While she is above the law and cannot be sent to jail, if she ever did do something to test this, it would be likely that in practice she would see the repercussions and be overthrown. Once a monarch is no longer on the throne, for example by way of abdication, then they have to answer to the law like the rest of us. So that was the top 10 laws Queen Elizabeth does not have to follow. Are you guys surprised that actually she doesn't have to follow any laws? Let me know in the comments section down below. Also, let me know if you've ever broken a law. For now, I've been Rebecca Felgate. This has been Most Amazing Top 10. If you like this video, make sure you give us a good thumbs up, share this video with a friend, and of course stay subscribed to Most Amazing Top 10 for more lists coming at you twice daily. And I'll see you next time.